Today we are going to be doing an episode that is quite different from our normal content, but we're going to be talking about a program. And the moment I heard about this program, I was like, I need to think about this, like potentially a lot, because it changes a lot. I mean, what happened with drones in the Ukrainian war is we learned that drones changed the face of warfare.
100%.
And they, in a large way, have made things like large tanks and stuff like that, which used to be what countries were investing in, obsolete. And countries, specifically the United States, has started something called the Replicator Program. And this is a program where the United States is beginning to outfit battleships to be able to build hundreds of autonomous AI-controlled drones every day.
A kill drone printer?
A AI is not controlled by humans either. These are autonomous kill drone printers for the sea.
You okay?
But the program, don't worry, it's not limited to the sea. They've also talked about how they want to build versions of this that can go on land and for the army and stuff like that. So we're going to have kill drone printers everywhere.
It makes me think of those, the big ships in Star Wars, the crappy new ones that had all the droids come off of them. You know, they were just unfolded and came out. I'm picturing those now. Hopefully they won't have really bad dialogue. At least we know our LLMs of our universe and
Roger.
Roger. Oh my God, they were the worst. Well, no, Jar Jar Binks was the worst, but at least we have like this Sith Lord theory, right? There was nothing for them. They were just awful. Oh no, don't even get me started. Let's keep going. Kill drone ships. Tell me more.
No, what's funny about the drones in Star Wars, I remember it was like the earlier versions were better and those were like a cost-cutting measure. But what's weird is like we now know from our world, and apparently it's in our same timeline because it takes place a long time ago in a galaxy far away.
Yeah, sure.
That like those drones, those droids were dumber than like DeepSeek. DeepSeek is really dumb. Somebody reached out to me and they were like, oh, well, have you changed your mind about like China's position because of DeepSeek? And I was like, DeepSeek is a scam. Like, do you guys, have you used it? Like, I feel like exclusively people who think DeepSeek is impressive is a completely different bucket than people.
I met one very smart and successful person who uses DeepSeek as their chosen.
Yes, but it's for a very, very narrow task.
If you need an open source
if
LLM.
You need a totally open source LLM.
It's apparently better than Llama. So
marginally better, but that doesn't give China any power. Because anyone in any country can take it and use it open source. So you get no additional marginal power by having a fully open source LLM. And you only need a fully open source LLM if you're doing like absolutely massive scale stuff. And generally what matters more is good LLMs and not open source LLMs.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're like, how did DeepSeek become the #1 app in blah, 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 the China fact takers do a good video on this. It appears to be mostly faked, because they've traced the accounts that they were promoting it to China CCP influencer accounts. I'm super not, I do not believe, having used DeepSeek, that there's a lot of people using DeepSeek recreationally.
Yeah, you know, didn't that viral cycle around DeepSeek also correspond with this short-lived period when the YouTube algorithm weirdly favored Chinese propaganda videos?
It's still doing that.
I'm now getting the critical stuff again, maybe because the algo realizes I refuse to watch the propaganda, but
no, it's still doing that. It's still doing the propaganda. Like somebody needs to talk to YouTube about what's going on, because it is very clearly punishing channels like China Seekers. And like, I don't like, if anybody has any connections at YouTube, like whatever this pro CCP thing they have going on. So I've noticed that two types of videos are getting artificially sublimated by YouTube right now. One is anything that is critical of the CCP, which is literally a regime that's engaged in genocide. Like they have an active genocide campaign against the Uyghurs right now.
Yes,
what
it's not a mystery at present.
And anything that is critical of trans people. These are two categories.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Suppression.
Despite Trump's clear executive.
Well, it hasn't been implemented. They need to do a law around this or something.
Yeah, they're a little busy. I know.
And they're doing lots of stuff. You know, they're doing more than I expected them to in the Trump administration. But yeah. So let's talk about this replicator program.
Okay.
That's what we're all here to talk about.
Why are you the only one who's told me about this? I would feel like Drudge Report being the liberal bastion it is now would be having an aneurysm.
Liberals are pro-war. Don't you know that they're the party of Cheney? Trump's the person who's trying to end the war. And everyone can see now that he was completely sincere about this, because now he's gotten mad against Putin and is threatening 25 to 50% oil tariffs on Putin. And like, look, the people are like, oh, he was in Putin's pocket. But that, when Putin started belittling Zelensky and saying Zelensky wasn't legitimate enough to hold the negotiations, Trump got furious, which I think shows to everyone that anyone who's like, oh, he's in Putin's pocket. No, he just wants people to stop dying over literally nothing at this point. There is literally no gain to have. People are like, well, it will teach Russia they're not going to win back that land. They're not going to win back that land. They have had plenty of time to win back that land. They're not winning it back. Right now, it's just how long before we accept that they might get a few miles. How many hundreds of thousands of lives is a few miles worth? We haven't had a big breakthrough in years. Or not years, but like a year. Like it's clear that there isn't the capacity for that anymore in terms of manpower on the Ukrainian side. And on the Russian side, it's like, well, will Russia attack other countries? No, they don't have the manpower left to do that. They've been completely bled dry by this war. There isn't really anything like, I was actually pro the war at the beginning, but now I'm just like, now they've been bled dry. He did the Zach Brannigan style.
The Ukrainians? A trifle. It was simply a matter of outsmarting them. You see,
Ukrainians?
Preset kill limit. Knowing their weakness, I sent wave after wave of my own men at them until they reached their limit and shut down. Kiff, show them the medal I won.
That literally was his war tactic.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the initiative is structured into 2 lines of effort, with Replicator 1 focused on all domain attributable autonomous ADA2 systems encompassing aerial, ground surface, subsurface, and subspace capabilities. So note,
what
they
is
want
subspace,
these to be,
aside from the version I'm thinking of?
In the orbital. So they want autonomous orbital drones. They want, what I found interesting was subsurface. So this is underground drones. That's crazy. Underground like automated kill drones. Yes.
Kind of like the I'm picturing something akin to the boring machine, but clearly much smaller. Something that burrows theoretically, right? Not moving through underground waterways or something, but that could also.
No, that burrows. That's my understanding here. Yeah.
That seems inefficient.
Oh, come on. Is this not horrifying? We've got the space drones now and the underground drones now, and the anyway, Replicator.
I feel like can we get an EMP machine? It's like a great.
It wouldn't work against these.
Why not?
Because you can, in the same way,
they're mass producing these. They can't afford to make all of them EMP proof. These are like disposable.
No, they can, and you actually sort of need to with drones, because you have to worry about like radio. We're going to go over into the techniques that people can use to fight them, but yeah, they're almost certainly being made EMP proof.
Okay.
So yes, I'm sorry, Simone. Now, there's likely versions that are not EMP proof, but I imagine that you're getting a bit of both depending on the context or whatever, but you wouldn't be able to use EMPs as like a useful defense. Replicator 2, announced on September 27th, 2024, shifts focus to countering small unscrewed aerial systems. This is what the Army calls automated drones, like flying drones, addressing threats to critical installations and force concentrations. This phased approach ensures alignment with warfighter priorities and operational needs. So basically, they're working on building them, and they're working on building defenses against them. And this program is meant to end or be completed by 2026. So soon.
Next year, Elon.
Yeah.
Oh. Now all I can think about with Doge is how much are we overpaying for this?
Well, they've engaged over 500 companies as part of the project, so a lot probably. But I'd like them to continue working on this, because I think that this is probably necessary for any potential conflict we may have with China. Anyone who doesn't have a replicator program is pretty screwed by anyone who does. The DoD program launched in August 2023 with the goal of rapidly fielding thousands of autonomous systems across multiple warfighting domains. By August 2025, it is led by the Defense Innovation Unit, DIU, and aims to leverage innovative technologies to address operational challenges, particularly countering China's military capabilities. That is the core person that they're focused on with this. Mass deployment autonomous systems. So it's focused on low-cost expendable systems designed to disperse combat power and reduce risk associated with losing expensive platforms. These systems span aerial, ground, maritime, and space domains. It's mostly being counter China and operational applications. Examples include fleets of self-propelled sensor pods for intelligence gathering, ground-based systems for logistics support, and space-based platforms for secure communication. Strategic importance. Why are they doing this? Replicator is inspired by lessons from Ukraine's use of low-cost drones in its conflict with Russia. By adopting similar tactics, the U.S. aims to enhance deterrence capabilities against potential threats such as Chinese invasion of Taiwan. The initiative represents a shift towards scalable, adaptable military technologies that can be updated or replaced quickly to maintain operational superiority. And I note that we are now seeing a shift in the way wars play out. And every time we've seen one country just like absolutely road another country and go through it, it was because they developed a new unit or a new way of fighting that made it much harder to defend than to be on the offense. Specific instances of this were Alexander's war. He had the phalanx, which was just like really good in the way he used it, and nobody could really counter it.
Well, he always, or at least in a lot of famous battles, he used geography to his advantage, or like the local, like hills, like rivers.
It's not that he was a bad general. I mean, I'm not saying that he wasn't a genius there, but it was his troops and the way they fought. There was very little the enemy could do. It was just like a wall of spears, right?
Yeah.
What do you do against a wall of spears that can easily defend itself from arrows? And then it was Napoleon. I forgot exactly what it was. I remember it's something to do with like a berserker gun charge. This was early in sort of musket days, and it was incredibly effective. And then with the Hitler, what you have is the first modern tanks, which just allowed him to, before that it was trench warfare. It was like, oh, this is how you drive over trenches.
So much for that.
Line, and it did nothing against tanks. And we lived in a tank-based world order, I think, up until today, really. The tank-based world order was overcome by drones, because it turns out that you could just send out these little cheap drones and they can delete, a few $100,000 to $1 million tanks really easily. And so now we need to think of, okay, now, and it wasn't just to drones, by the way, like in air and on land. You also had the end of the age of like battleships, because what Ukraine has been doing is attaching explosives to like these are human controlled, so they're not fully autonomous. We haven't entered that era yet, which is obviously going to be the next era. Human like remote controlled like jet skis with like explosives on them, and then driving them up to big ships, and they cost very little to put together. The ship has struggles to target it, and it hits the ship explodes. And that's a many $1 million investment, many of which Russia can't replace because they were made during the Soviet days, sometimes in Ukraine, and they lack the capacity to easily replace it, not easily, ever replace anything from that era. They just don't have the industrial capacity to do that anymore, the dry docks, etc. They really are a civilization. Like modern Russia is one of those civilizations operating on like ancient tech that they don't know how to make anymore, or the capacity to make anymore from a military perspective, which is really wild to think about, because everything they lose is something that can never be replaced. That's not true for everything, but it's true for a lot of the technology, especially the large projects like the ships that they have.
100%.
And there's been cases of ships that Russia has like operating using like only one of like originally like 3 or 4 engines that were
what was the name of that hilarious ship?
Laser
that's more
funny video on this.
And is this the same one where if we just started lying down or something? There was one.
So she's thinking of the hilarious Russian military attempt. So there's a good video, Tales from the Bottle. Go watch their video on the Russia invasion of Japan. And the ships had so many problems. Like they were approached by like fishing ships, and everybody like dove on the ground and like was praying for their lives. And they were like, it's wild. And they ended up like doing this huge operation to sneak up to Japan and then just told like another ship, oh, we're here to sneak up on Japan, and it just went off and told everyone. Like, it was so bad. So bad. Maritime war has never been Russia's strong suit for obvious reasons. I mean, it's their country is so separated from maritime sort of conflict areas. Why would they be super awesome at it? But I'll keep going with what I'm reading here. So as of 2025, the initiative is on track with the first iteration expected by July to August 2025, focusing on lethal swarms of unmanned vehicles and software to bind them together, particularly to prevent Chinese invasions. Confirmed systems include AeroVironment's Switchblade 600, loitering munition, and Anduril's Dive LD unscrewed undersea vehicle. The Pentagon aims to invest about $1 billion in 2024 to 2025, reflecting significant financial commitment. So let's talk about this Switchblade, because I find it really interesting. The Switchblade, it's like comes in a tube, and it can be carried by a human, and they drop it, and it creates not like a drone like this, but like a little airplane that flies super fast and can drop bombs that can get rid of like tanks and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then this other one is like a small undersea submersible that shoots. It looks basically like a giant torpedo that shoots smaller torpedoes, and works on its own. That's the other one that they've built recently. So these are in 2021, so a while ago, there were almost 700 variations of artificial intelligence related projects within the DoD.
Well, at least it's cool sounding, pretty sci-fi. I want to bring back, like, I have always really appreciated military spending with the knowledge that so many cool things we have are the product of military spending, like the internet and a bunch of other cool stuff.
Yeah, but the internet's for porn.
Yeah, but we wouldn't have had it were it not for the military. So
we're not for killing people. Everyone thinks the internet's for killing people. Porn was just a nice side effect.
Yeah, a beautiful externality. Yes, but I appreciate that we've received quite a few cool things from the internet or in military. But I've also had this impression that all the cool stuff we've received has been from a long time ago. Kind of due for more stuff, and there was a lot of stagnation, and a lot of that had to do with very, very inefficient spending. At least this is interesting. At least I feel like this is maybe what it's going to take for us to get delivery drones that really work. Because
I don't know, because smart people don't work in the government anymore, and they used to, and I think that's what
these are government contractors, so they are private citizens mostly building.
Yeah, and they're all like DEI nonsense. Yeah, I mean, look at Boeing, right? They can't make basic anything anymore because it's been operating so much on DEI. Like, I don't know if I trust until we get our boys in there to clean everything out. I don't know.
It's happening. Look, they're getting there. Boeing is, I feel like, super on its way out. 2024 was the year that everyone concluded, okay, you can't do anything. You can't pick people up in space. You can't fly a plane. Yeah, it's just over for them.
We just need all government contracts to go to Elon-owned companies. I know the left would freak out about that. Look,
but like I would feel so much better.
Well,
yeah,
right? Like,
he does a better job.
SpaceX is actually pretty impressive. If SpaceX made planes, I don't know.
And it's not just SpaceX. It's Tesla. It's the fact that a bunch of people have solar panels. Like my dad, he doesn't just have, and he doesn't even have a Tesla. He's a Rivian, but he uses Elon Musk solar panels and charging systems at his house. He uses Starlink for his internet at the ranch.
Oh, he does?
Yeah. We used it and it was good. Like, I don't think when we were visiting him,
no, I didn't notice anything.
For Gwen's wedding, that it was bad at all. It was good. So it's good stuff. And that's you were just talking about space, not Starlink, not all the solar stuff, not the like. There's just and Twitter.
He is honestly like the Iron Man of our world. Like, why is like all of the technologies that like
Tony Stark was modeled after him.
Tony Stark, the modern version, was modeled after him?
Yeah.
I guess progressives used to love that he was like, pro-environment and everything like that.
Wait, no, he was the Joe Rogan before Joe Rogan. He was the, green energy, billionaire philanthropist. I mean, keep in mind also, like, he 100% had, he supported LGBTQ rights. He had this one tweet that had so many freaking like rainbow hearts in it that it was practically unhinged. He
helped his daughter transition. A lot of people don't know that.
And I think that that was the same daughter who also was not comfortable with capitalism, and that really, I think, influenced him to live like a homeless man for years. He didn't have a home. He just slept on people's couches. This is well documented. He didn't have anything. He wasn't materialist. Just like, no, oh, I wish we had an Elon Musk of the left. You had it. You had Joe Rogan. You had Elon Musk.
No, they do.
You had JFK or RFK.
They had what was her face? J.K. Rowling. You know, so it was Elon Musk. The Elon Musk of the left is, what's his face? That Mark Cuban, who so could have been something, you know, but he just.
What has Mark Cuban built that we use?
Nothing, of course. That's why he's Elon Musk of the left. He's done nothing, but he's just sort of like aesthetically.
No, come on. There has to be an Elon Musk of the left. Like LinkedIn guy's big, like DNC supporter, but what has he built since LinkedIn, and who likes LinkedIn?
Yeah. LinkedIn, the worst. It's like an actively retarded social media platform.
It's so bad.
It's where you go to be retarded.
Yeah, I swear.
Anyway. So what can you do to fight against this stuff, right? Like
Yes. Okay. So let's say, now I'm concerned. How do we, defend our house from these drone swarms? Because they burrow. Okay, so I didn't plan on burrowing.
Microwave. You can use Thor or Midjourney. They emit our radio frequency energy to overwhelm drone circuitry, causing crashes. Thor is mobile, assembled by 2 people in 2 hours. Midjourney extends range with detection. They have proven effectiveness, but they cost millions of dollars.
Oh, well, that's not an option.
Okay. Lasers, high-powered lasers, heat drones to cause component failure, paired with tracking radar for accuracy, unreliable in dense weather, fogs, clouds, smoke, or with reflective coatings on drones. So not that effective in many instances.
So if we cover our house in a giant mirror, yeah?
Yeah. Jamming. Well, the point is that we can't fight the drones with this. We can shoot the lasers at the drones, but if the drones just like release smoke into the air, it stops working.
I thought if we release smoke into the air, the drones have trouble seeing.
No, this is about what the drones can use for defense. So you can destroy drones.
No, and then now they have smoke. When did you mention the smoke?
If you use a laser and automated tracking system, you can use that to go drone. You heat the components and have them fall down dead, right? The problem is that the drones can use smoke to prevent this from working, or they can use just reflective shielding. With the microwaves, yes, you can do it. You can overwhelm drone circuitry, but it costs millions of dollars and the systems are pretty big. Then you've got jamming systems, which obstruct radio frequencies to disrupt drone control, effective against low quality drones. These are like the anti-drone guns you see, but they're less effective against drones with inertial navigation or jam resistant communication. These are basically like as soon as the drone gets jammed, they go into like an automated setting and it doesn't work on them. And the final one is building underground facilities and weapons to avoid aerial detection. Requires considerable time and financing, less viable for organizations under immediate threat.
But the burrowing drones.
Yes, and now we'll have the burrowing drones. You think you're safe and they come from underneath like in Starship Troopers. Yeah, it's really hard. I mean, like, basically, and this is why the drones have to be automated. Like somebody's like, why would you put automation in your automated drone factory? Like that sounds horrifying that you're controlling this with AI. But how? Like if you are in a drone dogfight where you have hundreds of cheap drones, or not hundreds, they want thousands of interworking cheap drones fighting thousands of other cheap drones. A human operator is going to be outcompeted by an AI operator any day of the week.
100%.
Because the AI operator can take into account information from 360 degrees around the drone. Keep in mind, if the drone's using something like a laser or a gun that can pivot 100, and imagine if it has multiple on it, right? Like a human's never going to be able to control that, but AI will.
Yeah. It's a lot.
So what it means to me is if you like your autonomy, and I think many people, when I talk about automated drone swarms, and I'm like, if you are a culture that has maintained high fertility by eschewing technology, you are effed. And I think many people don't realize how dominant groups with these automated AI drone factories are going to be over groups that don't have them. It just will not be a competition. And these will be able to move into territory. I think many Americans sort of live with this idea of, well, we can't be under attack here in the United States. Yes, you can. You could have CCP drones patrolling your house. You could have CCP drones patrolling your streets. If you don't develop counters to that and you're not able to project force back towards them, if we don't prevent their ability to develop enhanced chips or enhanced AI, I mean, fortunately, DeepSeek's such a joke, but like one thing that isn't a joke is China's capacity with drones.
Yeah.
China is easily the world leader with drones.
And they're investing a lot more in it too these days.
So yes, their AI may not be particularly sophisticated, but their drones are. And in the US, there's been a number of, like in Ukraine, there's been people on the ground who have talked about this, and they're like, yeah, we basically only use Chinese drones. We've tried some of the American ones, but they have this or this problem. And the Chinese out of the box ones are just better than the best of the American like defense ones, etc., which is worrying. Now, I think we can get above that. I believe in American innovation if we keep bringing Indian immigrants in. But sorry, if I understand the H-1B visa concerns, and I get it. But what I'm saying is that we need to keep running. We are in a Red Queen's gambit with this stuff. This is run as fast as you can, and you're never ahead because they're running as fast as you are. Now, China is fortunately not running as fast as we are, but I
don't know. They're building this new giant, what is believed to be military defense facility that makes the Pentagon look like a dollhouse. They are
more bureaucracy. I'm so scared. They'll out bureaucracy us.
Yeah,
what?
You're right. I mean, still though, they're it's their bureaucracy versus ours now. It's not as though they're a private drone swarm companies that I'm aware of.
I suppose. Yeah, so we'll just have to clean out our bureaucracy. Thank God we're doing that.
Yeah. People are really discounting how important Doge is for the survival of a lot of things we care about. Yeah.
Yeah. Freedom, gender equality.
I mean,
not living under CCP.
A little bit.
This is why, we got to keep standing this. It is the only path forward for our civilization.
But who cares what we think? I mean,
yeah, who cares what we think? But yeah, drone swarms, I think automated drone swarms are the future.
Yeah.
In terms of how to deal with it, like they're just...
I'm not seeing a way to deal with this. I think it goes back to our interest in living in a place that is so remote and undesirable and unusable to anyone but us that there would be no drones there because they have no interest in us. Plus having utility to the majority of the world. Like you want to be like Jews have historically been, which is no one wants to be you. No one wants to mess with you. And you provide a service that they just don't want to bother to provide themselves and that they use. And that's why I really want to get our family into bioengineering, because I think a lot of societies, especially as demographics make society skew more conservative, are not going to have the stomach for it. But the elite
she wants us to become the Tailaxu, but she refuses to.
No, I want us to create superhumans.
Okay.
In machine
answers.
Artificial wombs. Thank you very much.
Machine artificial wombs. It would use some biological components slightly.
Yeah, but not sentient ones.
They're not sentient in the original books. It was only the Sun's books where they were sentient. It's easy to make something without a brain. We already do that. Note here, she's referencing a debate we are having about our next son's middle name, and I want it to be Tailaxu, and she wants it to be Atreides.
Yeah, I know. I don't want our son to start dating and have some, he finds finally his nerdy girlfriend, but for some reason of bad taste, some oversight on her part, she considers the son's works canon, right? And then she's like, wait, so you're standing the loss of female bodily autonomy. Your family stands this, and like, we're going to be super close with our kids, girlfriends and boyfriends. It's just not going to go well. I don't want to hamper our children's. Not that Paul Atreides was the perfect partner either. He was a bad partner all around, really.
This is about our debate between the names Atreides as a middle name for our next kid.
Atreides for our Kwisatz but no.
But what would I do if I was building an anti-drone defense? This is the way my anti-drone defense would work. It would shoot up something, you could say like a grenade that would have a timer that could be set before it's shot. So it's basically a fairly dumb ammunition. It's an ammunition that shoots out of a tube with a timer that explodes after a preset amount of time, which is describing right before it's shot.
Okay.
Wait, think of it like a grenade being shot out of a mortar, basically.
Okay.
But it doesn't work like a typical mortar because it's a variable timer that's on the grenade. Now, these tubes are controlled on a pivot right here, and they have an AI system controlling them that also controls the timer on the dumb ammunition. So what it allows it to do is a ground-based system. So you don't need the AI in anything flying, in any of the ammunition or anything like that. Is just going ka-chung, 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 ka-chung at any drone swarms it sees in an area. Now, this would create obviously some potential damage on the ground. Like, you wouldn't want people to be around this, but I think that this could eliminate even fairly large drone swarms at a much lower cost than it costs to create those drone swarms.
Yeah, and I guess when we talk about you have to think about long-term cost. When I think about, for example, Israel's Iron Dome system, it is so much cheaper for Houthis or Palestinians to create really low-cost ammunition that could hit Israeli targets than it is for Israel to use the Iron Dome. Like, I think each intervention costs at least tens of thousands of dollars. I think a lot more.
I thought millions.
Yeah, like huge, insane amounts of money that are deeply disturbing to me.
Well, fortunately, Israel's so productive, You
gotta pay for the Iron Dome somehow.
God. But I think my system would do very well against drone swarms. So I suggest investing in it. DARPA, I'm here if you want me to build it for you.
It'd be so fun to work with DARPA.
I don't think. I think it'd be so much bureaucracy, but we'll see.
Post-Doge DARPA, maybe?
Post-Doge DARPA, yeah.
Or maybe
he's saying that to DARPA. You're saying after we fire you, DARPA. Yeah. Anyway, love you to death, Simone. You are amazing. We're having red curry tonight, right?
Yeah. What do you want as your carb? Do you want naan? Do you want lime rice? Or do you want...
Well, lime rice is just so much easier for you, so let's do that.
Okay, yeah, considering the time, I think I will do that. Thank you.
And those underwater things, I was just reading about it. Yeah, they are supposed to be artificially intelligence controlled. They're long-range, persistent underwater sensors, and they basically can like live underwater.
We're in for it. Yeah. It's buckle up.
Oh, and they're anti-submarine. Oh, terrifying.
Yeah, I feel like the age of submarine is coming to...
Yeah, the age of submarines makes no sense when you have deep sea automated like things looking like all over the ocean looking for anything and to shoot it.
Just doesn't
submarines make no sense.
Doesn't do it for me. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be in one when the enemy can take me down with something like that.
Nor would I. No, but I also would never want to be in a submarine. I think it takes a really special kind of person to not panic just upon being inside a submarine.
Well, one of our cousins or one of your cousins through Sandy used to be like a high level person.
Yeah. He's such a nice guy. Went to the GSB, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he went to the Stanford Graduate School of Business after. Yeah, he lived on one for years.
Yeah. It's a very special person. Like I said, exceptional. Not me. Not me.
Not me either. Not with this technology out there. Don't see the point.
Yeah.
All right. Love you to death, Simone.
I love you too. Ending recording. This is fascinating, Malcolm. Oh my gosh. My stomach is like so upset, and like thinking about anything makes me want to vomit. And yet this is also the same person who just hours ago was eating hummus out of a tin with a spoon.
She's pregnant, by the way, for people who don't know. That's
deeply wrong with this process. Something deeply wrong.
I'm so sorry. I know you're working so hard to make babies.
Well, I always used to joke that, you know, the pita would just existed as a conveyor of hummus, but now I'm like, wait, no, a spoon can also exist as a conveyor of hummus. We can just cut out the middlemen. Just be more efficient.
Have you thought about making your own hummus yet?
I have made my own hummus. It's ideal to make it with tahini, and I don't think actually I might have some tahini, so I can do that. Yeah, when we've made our own hummus, it's really good.
Oh, so, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't mind having some. Okay. Your salsas are really good. You make a delicious salsa. She roasts everything. It's way better than like the best Mexican restaurants. You wouldn't even believe it.
So nice to me. Wouldn't it be cool if we could make guac though? I think the problem with guac is it's really, I guess where we live at least, hard to buy an avocado and know you've got a good avocado.
No, it's hard anywhere. I'm good at making good guacamole. The problem is getting good avocados.
It's avocado roulette.
Yeah, it's roulette. Yeah.
And we tried buying frozen avocado that one time. Like, okay, well, if this is just consistently good and all you have to do is thaw it, then it should be fine. No, gross. No, it's very annoying.
Well, we should try again with avocados.
Oh,
I love
frozen.
guacamole so much. Yeah.
I know.
We'll see how much they cost. I remember them being cheaper than I expected at the store, and the kids would have a lot of fun with making it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's very healthy to eat, especially if the kids end up liking it.
Totally. Well, and especially if we bought like a proper molcajete and like ground it up in it, the kids would love. I mean, Torsten would love a like grinding rock. You know what I mean? Like going for it.
Well, I mean, it'd probably be easier just to use a blender.
I know, but I feel like traditional guacamole is pretty freaking awesome. We could just season it. Always wanted to season a molcajete, you know, like proper.
You want a molcajete is what she wants.
Maybe just a little bit, okay? But I don't think we have room for it.
Yeah, so we got a blender.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
I'm so excited for your curry tonight because I tasted the extra spiced one and it was really good. But the first version just wasn't that spicy.
I just batch froze most of it and you have 3 days worth of it for the fridge. So.
Ooh, you know me.
Like and subscribe to the channel if that is really fancy. If you don't like and subscribe to the channel, well, you can still comment a like down below. Tell us what you think about this in the comment below in our video. Bye!